Okay, so we are back again with the final video from Malta, and I'm heading to another gym. I'm heading to Legends now, which according to Google is a 17-minute walk away. I don't know if they know how quick I walk. What are we on? 17:19. I'm just outside the hotel now. We'll see how long it actually takes. But see, the other day on that video, if you've already watched it, I think I called it Finding a Gym in Malta. I picked the wrong gym. Legends looks to be the gym to go to, so yeah, we're gonna go check that out and see what, like, if I'd done a bit more research the other day, if I took a bit longer to decide, this is probably where I would have went. So we'll find out what it's all about. As I say, it may look a lot later, but it's only around 5 o'clock, so I'm hitting this gym about peak time. Hopefully it's not too busy, and hopefully I can record plenty. When I go into gyms and I'm recording, I'm very cautious about, like, I don't want to catch people on the camera. I don't want to, like, point it directly at them in case they don't want film. So yeah, let's hope it's not too busy. We can get a few good spots to set up the camera. Not even got a tripod either. I've just been setting it on top of equipment and things like that. I'm very unprepared. Bring the camera, but don't bring the tripod. Jesus Christ. Guy just about took me out. So I'm hoping that I'm walking the right way, but I've quite a good ability, I would say anyway. I'll probably end up fucking up in this video, but I've got quite a good ability. Once I've been somewhere once, I'm usually pretty good at finding my way around, and we've walked down here. I think it's called Bagiba Square, so the gym's just roughly around there. It's like the main square of St Paul's Bay, so like, yeah, let's hope I'm heading the right direction, but certainly looks like it. There's some Christmas stuff. They seem to love Christmas here. I mean, it's like mid-November, a bit early. Oh, once I've been somewhere once, I know where I'm going. Stupid cunt, man. Took a wrong turn, of course. Would have been there 10 minutes easy if I'd actually looked at my maps. But just about there now. Okay, so even with a wrong turn, 17:35. So what was that? 16 minutes. Wasn't that far off, was it? If I'd went the right way in the first place, so that would not have happened. So I'm in this little stretching room, and it's a useful place just to do a couple of, like, prep exercises. There's not a lot of room on the gym floor, kind of similar to my own gym in that perspective, but yeah, so like a nice wee place just to do a couple of primers. Like, my back is killing me. I've been carrying a 5-year-old on my shoulders every time we went a long walk, so just trying to, like, open up, get the rib cage moving a little bit, and just get prepared for a bit of legs today. So that's what we're doing. I noticed we've got the booty builder hip thrust here now. Not a big hip thrust guy, but it's something I'm thinking about buying for my own gym because a lot of the girls are asking for it, and it's between that and the Nautilus. And I've also been looking at I think it's a glute builder one that's like a Smith machine one, so it's good to get another retry of this again. I'm still in the decision making process for that, of which one I'm actually going to buy, so it's always nice to see, like, a gym having something like that so I can get a good shot of it before I spend a lot of money on one. So we'll get the booty pump first. Anyone that's not used this before, looks pretty cool. There's some adjustment in terms of where it starts. Obviously I'm not going to need it all the way back there. It's nice and easy to adjust as well. And then the seat as well, you can bring that up or you can bring it down, which is pretty cool. We've got the angled foot pad as well, which is going to reduce a lot of the friction as well. So one of the problems doing a hip thrust a lot of the time, like doing it with a barbell, is a lot of friction from the floor. And then the way that most girls, I would say girls because not many guys do them, the way that most girls do them, they end up feeling a lot of quads and not a lot of glutes, and again a lot of that's to do with the friction in the floor. So with this machine, it makes it less likely that's going to happen. The only thing I can criticise this machine for is the size of the back pad, because if you look at Nautilus, it's got a nice long back pad, which means that you're less likely to kind of find yourself like arching on it. Again, a lot of girls end up arching when they're on the hip thrust or doing it with a barbell. So with the Nautilus one, the back pad's nice and long, and it makes it less likely that's going to happen. Whereas with this one, you can see it is just like quite a small pad. So that's the only criticism of having it, to be honest. It is fucking roasting in here, but against what my instincts are telling me, I'm going to give this V-squat a go. The problem with V-squats is when you get in them with your back against the pad, so like facing into the mirror that way, the way that this thing arcs, the way that this thing moves, it's like the opposite way from the way that you want to move, if that makes sense. So it arcs the wrong way compared to how we fold up into a squat, so they usually don't feel that good. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my shoulders on here. It feels a little bit better that way, but like still pretty awful. But fuck it, I'll load it up, see what happens. Probably not going to go any heavier than that. Doesn't feel amazing on the back, to be honest. Onto the Sport Art Fitness, the Bind Stretcher, also known as the leg extension. I've never heard of this brand before. I'm assuming it's German for obvious reasons. The S957 Bind Stretcher. Yeah. What's pretty cool about this is there is a lot of adjustment here. Like you can bring this all the way back. If you can fit, can't get that in actually. If you can fit your leg all the way back there, you can bring the pad to start back there, so we can get a lot of length there. There's adjustment on the seat, in terms of the seat starts. There's even a little bit of adjustment on the input pad as well. So yeah, there's a lot of adjustment there, which is pretty cool. Usually the more adjustment, in my opinion, the better. Look at this. Did Jim Lako copy this off someone? Did they copy it off Sport Art Fitness? Who knows? I don't know. But certainly that is the same as Jim Lako. It does get heavier at the top of the movement. How can I tell that? By looking at the cam and looking at what that cable in there is doing as we move through the range of motion. So as I pull the input arm up, that cable is getting further away. Now you can't really see it too much in here. I'm having to look through that narrow gap. But that's how, well, part of the story when it comes to telling if a machine's getting heavier or if it's getting lighter. Another thing you can do is just get on it and try it and see how it feels. Now, there's the other side of the equation, our input here. Our input's staying pretty much the same on the leg extension, because as it goes up and around, it's moving around in a circular motion, which means it's always staying the same distance from the axis. We've got this counterweight here as well, but that is just going to counteract the weight of the input arm. So yeah, pretty much the magnitude profile of this machine is that it gets heavier at the top, which you'd want it to in a leg extension. So I'm going to load it up and give it a try. I've not done a set in a leg extension in a long time. Sold the Life Fitness one we had in the gym, bought a Cybex VR3 to replace it, and still haven't put it in the gym. Wait until the new gym building's ready to use that, which keeps getting delayed, by the way, thanks to the council. So haven't used a leg extension in a long time. It's going to hurt tomorrow. We're talking about leg extensions. There seems to be this obsession in the minute. We're trying to get a leg extension where you're like almost like laying back. People are talking about getting more length into the rec fem or more length into the quads. A leg extension is an exercise where you want to shorten the quads. It's not really an exercise for lengthening. If you want to lengthen the rec fem, do a split squat and make sure you're getting plenty, like you're staying a bit more upright and you're getting plenty of length in that back leg. That'll lengthen the rec fem. If you want to lengthen the rest of your quads, do a hack squat, do a pendulum squat, do a squat if you're like a barbell squat if you're made well for squatting. A leg extension, it's more of an exercise for hitting that shortened range. That's more what we're trying to do in this. So why people are trying to turn it into something that's not, I don't know. Never understand people online though. Moving on to the Beinburger, the Lion, or the Lion leg curl. While we're on the subject of the leg extension and everyone trying to turn it into a lengthened range exercise, everyone using their fucking, what you call it, hustler pad or whatever. It makes about as much sense as me trying to turn this lying leg curl into a lengthened range exercise. It's not, it's a shortened range exercise. Due to the hip position, due to the position your knee ends up in, it will target the hamstrings in their shortened position. Why would you try and change that into a lengthened range exercise? Like, am I going to get on this and just stick my hips up away in the air so I'm getting a bit more length at the start of the movement? No, it's fucking stupid. And it's the same thing with the leg extension. You can't get more length out of that. There's better exercises for doing it. Don't try and change something that works. If it works, okay? Wow, I'm fucking angry about this, aren't I? It's upset me. I think I got about 2 seconds of a clip on the lying leg curl before the camera fell over. Definitely should have brought a tripod. There are mirrors fucking everywhere in here. But if you don't mind, rate that. I rate that one. Okay, so just done a bit of hip extension, didn't even film that there to be honest, on the 45 degree hip extension, and yeah, a bit of length into the hamstrings. It's the first time I've trained like legs in about a week, so yeah, I think the hamstrings got a bit of a shock when I put some length into them, or for the first time I've properly trained them in a week anyway. But I'll be honest, it is a bit of a half-hour session. It's just easing back in, getting some movement. I'll get back to like proper normal training as of Monday. So yeah, now I'm just trying out some of the pieces that I fancy a shot of, including this roll, which looks interesting. It obviously diverges out the way, that's what that means. So this is the lat ruder station dual, that's what they call this. Here is a key example of why you don't buy cheap kit, by the way. I'm just going to show you one of the cables in this machine in a little minute, but someone's just went on it. Some guy was away to use that, and I was like, I'm going to have to warn him before he grabs that while I load away, and it ends up breaking. So I've not managed to set up the camera anywhere where I can get a decent view of this, but the problem with this is, like, check the angle this comes out at, right? So if you're sitting against the chest support, it's wanting to go away out there. So you almost have to bring yourself around like this so that you can get the arm path right. Otherwise, you're pulling like this, but this thing wants to go a different direction from your handle, making it a shit ton harder than it needs to be. So again, if we pull out here, we're pulling in line. So if we go single arm, it's alright. Double arm, not really an option on this. Don't know how I've missed this on the way in. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so kind of had to cut that one short. There's a few more machines I wanted to have a wee muck around on, but I had a look at the time and it's like 7:15. I told Sophie and Grace, in fact it's 7 now, so I told Sophie and Grace to be ready for 7 because I'd be back and I'd be ready by then, and I'm not. So it just shows you how time flies when you're having fun. But what did I think of Legends? I think if you're like me and you come from like a bodybuilding background, that is probably the place to train. In St Paul's Bay, out of the two I've been to anyway, free if you count the Technogym gym at the hotel. But price wise, cost me €10. I got a big bottle of water as well. By the way, something that I would say as a gym owner is don't go into a shop and buy your like cans of Monster and your water before you go to the gym. Go to the gym, buy it there, give them that extra bit of revenue. If you're going to buy it anyway, why not give it to an independent gym instead of a supermarket? In terms of like the atmosphere, again I would probably say like, I wouldn't say there's really like many bodybuilders in there, but it had that more kind of bodybuilding feel to it. I'm crisscrossing the road here, by the way, so I don't get people in my video. More of like a bodybuilding feel to it, and you can see that the minute you walked in, you could kind of see that, couldn't you? And then in terms of the kit, I mean, it wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. Again, much like the stuff in the other gym, like I could live with it if I had to, but I just think in the UK we are quite blessed. We get a lot of like different like old school kit that is, you know, genuinely some of the best kit out there, and some of the newer stuff too, of course, as well. But yeah, I think we are quite blessed with gyms in the UK, whereas like when we come to other countries, the kit doesn't tend to be as good. It's very rare that you'll walk into a gym in a European country or maybe like some more of the southern European countries, because I know like Germany, Austria, places like that tend to have gyms full of good equipment, but more of like the sunny states if you want to call that, countries don't tend to have the same level of kit, do they? So yeah, which is an interesting observation. I'm not really sure why that is, but yeah, you can make do with it. There's a lot of kit, a lot of different things that you could certainly use. So yeah, first time using I can't even remember what it's called, but that brand of kit that I had, first time using that, it was alright. Basically, probably the equivalent of like Matrix in the UK or something like that, but done a job, and I would go back there and train again. Definitely would go back there and train again. The posing room was a added bonus as well. The lighting wasn't actually very good in there. I know they did have like a ring light, and I couldn't figure out how it worked, to be honest, but they did have a ring light, and I'm sure that would improve things, but yeah, the lighting was not the best. I think the most important thing when you get a posing room is to make the lighting good, so there are things they can improve on for sure, but I liked it on the whole. Definitely liked it, and I would go back there again. So if you're in Malta, St Paul's Bay, you want to go to more of a bodybuilding feeling gym, Legends is your gym. In terms of the session itself, it was a bit of a half-arsed leg session. As I say, I've not trained legs in a couple of weeks, so I wanted to ease myself back in, get another trial of the booty builder, which again I do like. It's just the one thing I don't like about it is the length of the back pad, and then just muck about in the machines that I kind of wanted to use. So as I say, normal training will resume on Monday. We'll get back to a bit more intensity, but for now that eases me in to a nice start to legs and back to reality, back home tomorrow, and back to work as usual. So yeah, I better get back here and get changed and ready, or I'm going to get my ass kicked. So yeah, that's what's on the agenda now.